Humanity is ending. There are only a few hours left. How will you spend those few hours? In happiness and reflection, or despair and regret? This is So Long, My World. In the game So Long, My World, each player is attempting to fulfill the last few hours of their life by collecting feelings, and these feelings will help them collect insight. And those insight are the points at the very end of the game, and whoever has the most insight wins the game. So I've gone ahead and set up a 3-player game here. Now I have it set up slightly different than what is actually suggested because my clock here is a little bit larger than will actually fit in my setup right here, just so I can fit it onto the camera. But normally this clock would just go right into the center of the circle of cards, but it really doesn't matter if you have it separated or not. So this is how we have it set up. We have a clock right here, and in a 3-player game we're going to start off on the 1 o'clock hour. You'll have this circle of cards right here, and these are all vision cards, and all of these will have the different types of visions that we can have, and we have actions on there and ways to collect the feelings for the game. Each player will start off with a hand of 5 cards, and 2 of those cards are the starting cards. So you always will have a soul box and a life is a journey card, as well as 3 random cards from the remnant deck, which is the black deck that I have here. You will also set up an event deck, which is the tan deck right there. And then off to the side we also have a gestalt deck, and that deck has some powerful cards that you can pull later on in the game. We have all of the feelings off to the side here. So we have hope, nostalgia, resignation, despair, and madness. So they go from these 2 are positive, and these 2 are negative feelings, and then the resignation is a neutral feeling. And then we also have these marks of soul, and these marks of soul are another type of currency, because all the feelings are currency in this game. So there's these marks of soul, and they're another type of currency that you can earn throughout the game. So whoever is the first player will take the first player marker. They will place that down, and every player will also grab these tokens here, and all these tokens are associated with each of the different vision cards right there. So these will be your vision tokens, and these are where you'll decide to take your actions on your turn. So each player will have 1 of each of those. So the first thing that you will do as the first player is you will draw an event card. So let's just draw this one right here. And this one says, "Death is a dreamless sleep. The terror that grabs you in the night, that chokes your breath, when you want to scream in a universal cry, but you don't open your mouth because you know nothing will change." And then the effect here says, "The place of worship," which is one of the cards right there. It's the brightest one right there. If you go ahead and take your action there, you may discard or remove 1 card when you go ahead and take that action. And let's just pull a place of worship here. Normally, the action on there just says once you can pay a resignation to gain 1 positive feeling of your choice. Well, you could also discard or remove a card if you go there, because this one is the event card for this turn. So the next thing that we will do is we will look at the vision symbols down here, and this shows you all of the different cards right there, and I'll show you the feelings that are going to get distributed onto those visions. So first right here is the place of worship, and the place of worship is going to get a madness. So you go ahead and place that there, and you go ahead and fill in the rest of those. Okay, once that is done, you can go ahead and discard this card, and my discard's going to be slightly off screen right there, but you'll have that there. Now we go into the choice phase. So every player will take their vision tokens and they will decide where that they want to go on the vision track. So let me just go ahead and we will zoom in there. And there are different actions that you can take on these different cards here. So I just read the place of worship. So we'll just go around, let's go clockwise here. So we have death drive. The purpose of all life is death. So if you go here, you can remove a remnant card to gain the same feelings of its cost. So as a way to get more resources. The childhood house says that you can pay the cost of a remnant card currently in Oblivion, which is the discard pile, to put it into your hand or to play it. So that is a way to get some cards that you don't have anymore. The World's Edge Pub allows you to discard a card to draw a card. Next up is Slaughter. And Slaughter will allow you, you can move one feeling at choice from an adjacent vision to this vision. So that will allow you to move around the feelings around the board here. And then last here we have Special Person. Change a feeling with another Change a feeling with another player's same type feeling. So the types are positive and negative, of course, and then there's neutral, but there's only one of those neutrals. So each player will now decide where they want to go, which action that they want to take. So to decide where you want to go over here, every player is going to go ahead and look at their cards that they have in their hands. Let me just zoom out just a slight bit there. So you will actually look at these cards here and you will decide what you want to do here. So there are the two cards that everybody starts off with. So we have this Life is a Journey, and Life is a Journey will cost you a hope to be able to play this card. And then Soul Box, which again everybody has. This one will take a Madness for you to play. And note these two have these little clock symbols on there. And that means that these are only able to be played during the hinder phase, which comes a little bit later on, but you will need the resources to be able to play those. Then I happen to have, as first player here, I have this Devouring Moonlight, which is another hinder card, and this one will cost me a Nostalgia and a Despair to be able to play. We have Progress, which costs 2 Hope, and then we have Hate, 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 which costs 2 Madness to play. So we're going to decide what we want to try to gain when we're on those cards. Now I forgot to mention, at the very beginning of the game, once you grab all of your cards, every player chooses if they want a Hope or a Madness token to start off the game. And I've gone ahead and chosen to take a Hope. The other players have gone ahead and picked Madness because that benefits their hands a little bit more. So looking at what I have here, I have actually I have a little bit of everything, but I think I'm going to try to focus on some of the more positive feelings in the game. So I'm going to try to earn some more of the green and the blue positive actions, or positive feelings I should say. So if I go ahead and look, I do see that the Slaughter card has the blue feeling on there, and the World's Edge Pub has the green right there, the Hope. But also if you look at the cards on the bottoms of them, each one has a feeling directly on there, and you can always collect that feeling. So let's just decide what we want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to the World's Edge Pub. So because I'm going there, I'm going to go ahead and select my token, and I'm going to place my token face down and wait for all the other players to go ahead and select their tokens. Once they do, everybody's going to go ahead and flip your token all at the same time. Then you'll go ahead and you'll place your token on the location that you are going to. I believe in the final copy, each player's tokens will have a color surrounding them, so you'll know whose is whose. So once everybody places their tokens, we now go on to the hinder phase. So in the hinder phase, you can play any card that has the little clock on there as long as you can pay its cost. So everybody has the positive and the negative card right there. So everybody will be able to play a card in the hinder phase at the very beginning of the game if they wish to. So the first player can decide if they wanted to play this Life is a Journey, and Life is a Journey will allow them to move to an adjacent vision. So if several people had gone here, they can decide to move to a different one. This is very useful if you're not the first player and you wanted to go to a different vision, because you know that they're going to take all the feelings on the one that you're currently on. That's a way to move around slightly. But I don't want to do that. I'm not going to play a hinder card. So next goes on to the vision phase. So with the vision phase, you're going to go ahead and you're going to activate the card right there. So the World's Edge pub will let us discard a card to draw a card. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. As I said, I'm going to focus on more positive feelings. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to discard this 4 times hate card. So I'm going to go ahead and put that into the discard pile. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw up a new card. So the new card we gained is Love Me Again, which is a resignation, so it's a neutral card, which is perfectly fine. And this is, if you're on the special person card, this will allow you to get there's a blue, so that is to get a nostalgia from the system, and you may gain a card. That is actually very, very good. So now we've activated that. Now we have Drain. So we have one action that we can perform, and there are several different types of things that we can do. So we can take 2 feelings from the vision that we are on, if we wanted to. There's only one there, so I can just take that one if I wanted to. I could take one type of feeling from the vision selected. Take one mark of soul if we wanted to. Or we could just draw one card from the system if you wanted to. But I'm going to go ahead and I want that feeling that is right there. It's only going to be 1, but I'm definitely going to take that. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that 1 hope feelings. Now I have 2 hope in this game. So that was the drain action. Now I can play cards. So I have 2 hope. So I'm going to go ahead, just twist this down a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play Progress. So Progress is going to cost me 2 hope. So I take my 2 hope and put those back into the pool there. And now when I drain, I may spend 1 hope to double the reward from the drain action. So I'm going to go ahead and just place that in my area. That will count as 1 point for me for the end of the game. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play this right in front of me. The top here says that I gain 1 insight point, so that'll be 1 point towards the end of the game. So I'm just going to place that right down there, slightly off camera. And now if I had any marks of soul, I could go ahead and spend 1 of those to draw a gestalt card if I wanted to at this point. I do not want to because I don't have any of those. So now I'll go on to the next player, and they will go ahead and they will take their vision action. They'll activate the card, and they'll go ahead and gain their feelings or however they wanted to until everybody has taken a turn. Once everybody has taken a turn, we go ahead and we advance the clock 1 space of time there. The first player token moves on to the next player there, and we do another round of that. So you will continue on, and you will be playing cards out of your hand and gaining feelings and spending those feelings and possibly gaining some gestalt cards. Let me just show you a few of them. So we have a card here which is To End, and this one is worth 3 points at the very end of the game, which is fantastic. but this one does cost you 1 hope and 2 madness to be able to play this card. So if you're trying to focus on positive feelings, this might not be the card for you. And then another card is right here, I Hate You, My Love, which is worth 4 points at the end of the game. This is the highest card that I have in my copy here. So 4 is really, really good, but it costs you 4 madness to be able to play this card. And if you actually read the flavor text right here, this is kind of messing with the system and it's corrupting it, because maybe this is a matrix-like system. We actually don't know what's going on here in this world. But those are some of the Gestalt cards. You will continue on until the clock goes all the way around to midnight. You will play one last turn. Once you've played that one last turn, you go ahead and you will count up the points on everybody's cards. So you will see how many points everybody has on those, and then you will get an extra point if you only played cards of the same type. So if you only played positive cards, you'll get 1 bonus point. Or if you only played negatives, you will get 1 point as well. And that is called a karma chain. So having the same karma throughout the game will gain you that bonus point. If you do have any of the marks of soul left over, you will get an extra point for every 3 of those that you have. And then you add everything together. Whoever has the most points wins. And then, as it says in the instructions, so the player with the most insight wins the game, and then it ends.
Punchboard Media, where we all bring something to the table. Pull up a chair at punchboardmedia.com.
So that is a brief synopsis of So Long My World. Now, at its core, this game is a very interesting engine builder. So you're trying to gain the feelings, to be able to spend those feelings, to be able to play the cards to gain some points. So there's some interesting manipulation, which I didn't really show in the video, doing it just by myself, but there's a way to manipulate stuff, and then you might want to try to get those Gestalt cards there, because those tend to be very, very powerful. So you want to do those, but you also might want to hold on to those marks of soul for points at the end of the game. Also trying to go along the same karma track, so to try to stay only positive or only negative is actually a challenge within the game to get that little bit of a bonus point. And it's very, very interesting. So at its core, it definitely is an engine builder, just trying to figure out how to get those points out there. But the big pull of this game is its theme. And its theme is a dark theme. It is something that probably won't appeal to everyone, but I found it something that was very refreshing and very fascinating. This isn't really something that I've seen in board games a lot, and that's what really drew me to it. And I was really excited to be able to get this preview copy and try it out and see how it all worked out. It is a very interesting theme to me. It is the end of humanity. How are you going to spend your last hours on Earth? Are you going to, be with your family, or are you going to seek revenge? And it has a very interesting feel to it. And it's something that I am very, very intrigued by, and to see a game exploring something like this is very interesting. Now, if you actually go on and read the cards and see what's going on, I'm curious about this world. This world that was created in this game, because it seems to be a future that is this a Matrix type future where everybody is plugged in? Is there free will in this world? Because there seems to be a lot of errors being pulled up with some of the cards, like you saw that one Gestalt card that was just throwing out computer errors. And there really aren't computer errors in human life. So it is very interesting that the world that this game is all wrapped up in is just fascinating to me, and something that I am very interested in. I would love to see more in this world, whether it is in a board game form or some other kind of medium. I am all in for that definitely. But if this game looks like something that you would be interested in, down below I'm going to have a link for their Kickstarter, so you can definitely check this out. And please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and help support Cloak and Meeple. You can go over to Patreon and you can support me there. You can also get a Cloak and Meeple shirt from geekygoodies.com, or if you want to go over to Pod Pledge, you can also support me there. And as always, thanks for watching.